Stop trying to fix your mistakes in games. It's the fastest way to ruin your performance. I know that sounds wrong. You've been taught make a mistake, fix it immediately. But in games, that's exactly what's hurting you. Because the moment you try to correct a mistake, it pulls you out of the zone. And the zone is where you play your best. You felt this before. A game starts slipping away. You make one mistake, then another, then another. Shots you normally make miss. Reads you normally see disappear. You overthink, you hesitate, and all of a sudden, you just know this game is gone. Here's the truth. It wasn't the mistake, it's what you did after it. And once you see this, you won't respond to mistakes the same way again. In this video, I'm going to show you why correcting your mistakes in games kills your performance and what elite athletes do instead. Here's what's happening. When you try to correct a mistake in games, you aren't just fixing something. You're actually changing the way your brain is operating in that moment. Because to correct a mistake, you have to go back and replay what just happened. You have to analyze it, judge it, criticize it. You have to figure out what to do differently the next time. The moment you do that, you make a shift from fast, instinctive performance to slow, conscious, analytical thinking. But peak performance doesn't come from that system. It comes from your fast, instinctive, automatic system built through thousands of hours of reps and training and experience. It's what allows you to access your greatest skills and abilities during games. It allows you to react instantly, move freely, and execute without hesitation. And this system doesn't need you to think. It needs you to trust it and not interfere. So when you're correcting your mistakes during games, you're not actually improving performance. You're interrupting the system that actually produces your best performances. And it gets even worse because it's not just about how your mental process changes. It's about where your attention goes. Because where your attention goes, your energy flows. So when you try to correct your mistake, something very interesting happens. Your attention goes into the past, into what just happened. And then it jumps into the future, trying to predict and control what might happen next. So your attention is split between the past and the present. But here's the problem. You only have power in the present moment, in the next read, the next action, the next play. You can't change the past, and the future you're imagining might not ever happen. So while you're thinking about what you should have done or what you need to do next, you're draining vital energy from the only thing that matters, which is the present moment. What's happening right now? And this is when you start to feel it in your performance. Because the moment your attention leaves the present moment and you start trying to control everything, your game changes. You're not reacting, you're thinking. You're not flowing, you're forcing. And now you're slower. Your decisions take longer. You hesitate, second guessing what should be automatic. You stop playing naturally and you start trying to control everything. You become robotic. But the game doesn't reward that. It rewards instinct, timing, feel. And the moment you try to control everything, you become predictable. Not because you've lost skill, but because you're trying to manage your performance instead of just letting it happen. Here's something you need to understand that most athletes don't. A game is not the same as practice. I know that sounds basic, it sounds simple, but let me explain. You see, a game and practice require completely different mental processes. In a game, it's too late to correct mistakes. The time for that was during practice and preparation. In practice is where you build performance. It's where you slow things down, break things down, study your technique, make adjustments. Because the purpose of practice is simple. It's the time to program your body and mind with the skills, adjustments, and automatic responses you're going to need when you're under pressure and in a game. By the time you're in the game, everything is different. You see, in a game, you're not trying to build performance. You're trying to express the performance you've already built in practice. There's no time for analysis, self-criticism, and then mechanical correction. Because the moment you start thinking like you do in practice, you start interrupting, you start interfering with the system that produces your best performances. And this is where most athletes get caught. They try to fix mistakes mid-game. An interesting question is, where does this habit come from? This idea of make a mistake, fix it immediately. You see, for most of us, it comes in childhood. As children, we learned that When we make a mistake, we get punished. We get reprimanded, we get scolded. And it doesn't matter what level of punishment it was, whether it was harsh punishment or light punishment. The message was simple, which is when you make a mistake, you have to fix that mistake and cover it up if you don't want to be punished, if you don't want something bad to happen. And so instead of learning to make a mistake and then quickly move past it, we learn to make a mistake and then hold on to it, analyze it, try to fix it right there and then. And this habit doesn't just disappear. This pattern of thinking doesn't just disappear once we become adults. The things we learn in childhood, we carry that pattern on into adulthood. So when you try to correct your mistakes in games, it feels right. It feels responsible. It feels like the exact thing you're meant to do. But in reality, it's exactly what pulls you out of your best performances. It pulls you out of the zone of peak performance. It starts with one mistake. You try to correct that mistake, and immediately you shift out of flow. You're thinking more, controlling more. Your game shifts from automatic to conscious. And so you lose your rhythm, you lose your timing, and all of a sudden, you're no longer playing on instinct anymore. It's like you're trying to manage every single movement, every single moment. And that's when your performance collapses. Not because of the original mistake, but because of what you did after it. You see, great performances doesn't come from control. It doesn't come from managing every single thing that you do, every single moment. It comes from automatic execution of your trained skills and abilities. And this is why it's so important what you do in training, what you do in your preparation, what you do in practice. That's what builds the system that plays for you under pressure. In competition, you're not there to fix performance. You're there to express what's already been built in practice. Because your preparation should have already programmed your body and mind to make the right adjustments automatically, even after you've made the mistake. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking to yourself, if correcting my mistakes hurts my performance, then what do I do instead? See, this is when we need to go to what the elite athletes do when they make a mistake. What do they do instead of trying to correct those mistakes? When elite athletes make mistakes, they don't analyze those mistakes mid-game because they understand something very simple. You don't correct performance during performance. When they make a mistake, they reset instantly, they move on immediately, and they stay present no matter what just happened. For them, each possession is always separate from the last. There's no emotional carryover from one play to the next. They don't replay mistakes. They just focus on the next play, immediately bringing attention back to one thing: what's happening right now. Not the mistake, not the outcome, not what it means. And most importantly, they trust their training. They don't try to recontrol the game. They just let it run, staying present in each moment, never holding on to a mistake, never trying to fix a mistake. They just trust their training. They trust their abilities to make the adjustments automatically. Because at the highest level, performance doesn't come from control. It comes from non-interference. And so when you stop trying to fix mistakes, you stop breaking your own flow. The zone of peak performance is where you perform at your highest level effortlessly. Because in the zone, your body and mind are fully aligned with what you've trained. No interference, no hesitation, just pure expression of your skills. And so your goal should always be to enter the zone of peak performance every time you play. So if you want to learn how to enter the zone of peak performance and produce your best performances on demand when it matters the most, follow for more.